Hello, my name is Matthias and welcome to the FPL Scope YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about what the current template is amongst FPL content creators or FPL experts, if you will. This past weekend, the official FPL account on Twitter posted a thread of 27 different managers and their first drafts in Fantasy Premier League this season. So I went through all the drafts, compiled all the numbers, just checked every single squad and counted up every single player in all those squads to see how many players have been picked by all 27 teams. That's only one player, and you know who already because it's right there to the side of me, right there. Haaland, 27 out of 27 picked Haaland. But yeah, there's some really interesting numbers that we can go straight into, but I just want to plug my FPL guide first. So at thevideoscope.com/FPL guide, as you can see on the top of the screen right now, you can visit my FPL guide. It's a pretty comprehensive guide with new player reviews, new manager reviews, starting lineups for all the different teams in the Premier League, like what I expect to be the starting lineup for the season, set piece takers, and a lot more. And including, on top of all that, you have some squad suggestions as well. And one of them, the squad suggestions, is the template squad. And it's pretty interesting to see how closely resembling the template squad is to the actual FPL content creator template squad. So we'll get to see that at the end of this video and compare and contrast sort of the teams and what are like the slight differential picks from the experts or content creators. So let's move along and look at the goalkeepers first, who was picked amongst the FPL content creators. The top picked player or top picked goalkeeper amongst FPL experts was kind of surprising to me. It's Jordan Pickford, who's he is, to be fair, the third most popular pick in total among all players or all FPL managers. But among FPL experts, he is number one with 13 out of 27 teams having him in their squad. A lot of those same squads had Areola as the backup goalkeeper. Some of them had João Virginia, the backup goalkeeper for Everton, as the backup to Pickford. But those guys were pretty much the most picked goalkeepers. Apart from that, it's pretty diverse. It's pretty much different goalkeepers. What surprised me is that Ramsdale, who is by far the most popular goalkeeper amongst, or not by far, but he's the most popular goalkeeper amongst like the general player base. He was only picked in 3 out of the 27 squads, which was quite surprising to me. So this is sort of where maybe the FPL experts or content creators differ a bit from the rest of the pack. So Ramsdale for 5.0, I guess maybe they find more value in defenders from Arsenal, but we'll get to see that pretty soon in terms of the defender picks. But yeah, not that many interesting names there, to be fair, or like surprising names, I should say. I sort of expect the Flecken number to go up 4 out of 27. I think as soon as it's clear that he's going to be the starting goalkeeper, not Raya, that number's going to go up. Obviously, Andre Onana was not in the game by this point. Like, they couldn't pick Onana, so I think when he's in the game for 5.0, he's going to be the consensus starting goalkeeper for pretty much everyone, unless he's priced at 5.5. I don't know yet at the time of this recording. But yeah, Leno 4.5 is also quite popular. Johnston, Fabianski. Fabianski is sort of like I think the two squads with Fabianski had Areola as the backup goalkeeper, so I think it's just like to secure the West Ham goalkeeper, I guess. Other than that, pretty not that interesting. You can see also no premium goalkeepers at all. 0 5.5 goalkeepers. There's only 3 picked 5.0 goalkeepers, and all 3 are Ramsdale. And apart from that, it's just 4.5 goalkeepers and 4.0. There were a couple of squads that had 4.5 goalkeepers, but most squads had 1 4.5 goalkeeper and 1 4.0 goalkeeper. I don't think a single squad had 2 4.0 goalkeepers, actually. But yeah, those are the goalkeepers. Let's move on to the defenders. And here it is a very different thing, because the premium defenders, aka Trent Alexander-Arnold, is super popular. 24 out of 27 FPL content creators in this thread had Trent Alexander-Arnold in their draft, which is surprisingly high. Like, I expected it to be very high. I expected it to be more than half the teams, but 24 out of 27, that's pretty much every single squad he was in, which is really interesting. Second place is Estepinian, who is the most popular defender pick out of everyone in terms of the general player base. 21 out of 27, not really surprising at all. Botman, 14 out of 27 in nearly half the teams. Quite surprising. I know he's quite popular, but I was pretty surprised by that. The most popular 4.0 defender was actually Amari Bell from Luton. I don't expect that to last. I think Bayer, who has joined 6th with 9 out of 27 picked, or 9 out of 27 squads, I think he's going to creep up. I think Baldock, who has joined 10th there with 3 out of 27, he's going to creep up a bit. Al-Dakhil is quite an interesting pick. He might be the centre-back pairing with Bayer, but why wouldn't you just go with Bayer when he's the surefire centre-back? I don't really know. And then Branthwaite, I think, could possibly rise up the ranks eventually as well, because I think he is likely to be the starter for Everton. So yeah, some not really that many like surprising picks here. Gabriel, like I said, not that many people went to Ramsdale, but 10 people have chosen Gabriel. And then you look at the other Arsenal defenders, 6 players have picked Zinchenko, so we're up to 16 Arsenal defenders picked. Salibo's picked once. Ben White was even picked once for 5.5. So Arsenal defenders are in, I don't think that, and maybe 1 or 2 squads had doubled up with Gabriel and Zinchenko, but I think that was a rarity. So I think pretty much if you add up all the Arsenal defenders put together, I think it should be around 17 or 18 out of the 27 squads had an Arsenal defender for either 5.0 or 5.5 in the case of Ben White. You can see the same with Man City. There are a couple of Man City picks there. 2 people have picked Stones. 4 people have picked Nathan Ake. And then you have Ruben Diaz. One person has picked Ruben Diaz. 1 person has picked Akanji. So a lot of centre-backs from Man City to choose from as well, but they're not that popular. But Luke Shaw, 9 out of 27. Expected it to be slightly more, to be honest, but because you can't really see any other Man United defenders here. So yeah, Shaw isn't as like nailed on as I thought like he would be among FPL content creators. But 9 out of 27, it's still a third of the teams have Luke Shaw, so that's pretty good still. Chilwell, a lot of people have mentioned that it's surprising to see Chilwell in so few squads. Reece James as well. Reece James is in 3 out of 27 squads. Chilwell is in 2 out of 27 squads. So 5 out of 27 squads in total for the Chelsea fullbacks. I don't think anyone doubled up on them, but I might be wrong. But either way, that's also quite surprising. I expected them, since they were 5.5, people would be pretty eager to get them in. But I guess because of the price points of the rest of the defenders, as you can see, Estepinian 5.0, Botman 4.5, Bell 4.0. Didn't really expect that many Chelsea fullbacks or that many squads with Chelsea fullbacks, I should say. But yeah, mid-price 5.0 to 6.0, basically the 5.0 and 5.5 section, because 6.0, there's not a single 6.0 defender here picked at all. I could have added that to the premium pile as well, because it's still 0 out of the 27 squads. But yeah, I think 5.0 and 5.5 are the most popular, or it's the most popular price bracket. People like Estepinian, Gabriel, Shaw. As you can see, all the players marked with yellow here on the screen. Pretty popular picks. Then you have the 3 4.0 defenders that are like the most common: Baldock, Bayer, and Bell, and Botman, and Henry actually 3 out of 27 as well. There are a couple differential picks there, as you can see on the right side of the screen. Medicash 2 out of 27. Mark Guehi, however you pronounce that name, 2 out of 27 as well. But mostly, the usual suspects: Estepinian, Gabriel, Shaw. We'll get to see the eventual template team as well in this video. But moving on to the midfielders, and here there's another shift in terms of the premiums. There's only 2 premium midfielders picked, and it's Mo Salah in 2 out of the 27 squads, which was super surprising to me. Like, I knew Salah was not as popular as before, but 2 out of 27 with Salah, that's absolutely no one. Like, no one has Salah, pretty much. Two people have Salah out of those 27 content creators, which is very surprising to me. But Saka being number 1 is not surprising at all. He is such a popular pick, plays for Arsenal, 8.5, he's on penalties, makes all the sense in the world. Mitoma as well, really popular. Should be noted that Solly March is not listed there at all, which is kind of interesting, because March and Mitoma were pretty like neck and neck even towards the end of last season as well. So I don't really understand. Personally, I have Mitoma over March in my own team as well, but I wouldn't really expect it to be like that one-sided. Like 17 out of 27 have Mitoma and 0 out of 27 have Solly March. Oh, sorry, actually 1 out of 27 have Solly March. You can see him there on 16th place with 1 out of 27. So yeah. Bruno Fernandes and Rashford, neck and neck, 14 out of 27. So pretty much every single squad has a Man United midfielder. There's even a squad with both Rashford and Fernandes doubling up. I think there's only 1 squad, maybe there's 2. I think pretty much every single squad has a Man United midfielder, because those guys are priced at a pretty nice price. Bruno Fernandes 8.5. sort of like the more expert kind of pick or FPL content creator pick. And Buemo as well, 14 out of 27, also a very popular pick. The top 5 picks here are very popular. But that leaves another spot as well in the template team that we'll see eventually. But we can obviously gather who that player is. But it should also be noted that Saka is in 21 out of 27 squads. And then you also have Martinelli in 7 out of 27 squads. And you have Ødegaard in 4 out of 27 squads. So there are definitely people doubling up or even tripling up on Arsenal, as we'll see with the next slide as well, on the Arsenal attack, because there's a lot of Arsenal players in pretty much every slide, because they are really popular players, because they ended up being number 2 last year and were like the most consistent team in terms of starts, because Man City keeps rotating players. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the midfielders. Some differential picks here. Enciso, 3 out of 27. Mount, Eberechi Esse, kind of surprised to see him only picked by 3 out of the 27 squads. Other than that, Sterling, 1 out of 27. I think that number might rise towards the end of the season. Vlasic and Sarr, pretty strange, 4.5 midfielders. One person actually has Andreas as well. One person has Gibbs White, which is probably because of the fixtures. Luis Diaz, 2 out of 27. Some interesting picks. There's also this mid-table thingy like Foden, Martinelli. The 5th, it seems like everyone has Saka, everyone has Mitoma, everyone has Fernandes, pretty much, or Rashford. Everyone has Mbeumo, or a lot of people have Mbeumo. And then it's sort of like the 5th pick, or 5th or 4th pick. Like, you have at least 3 of those 4 players I mentioned, and then one different pick, which is sort of where the difference in points probably will come from in the first game week. But yeah, Salah is the most surprising there by far. The mid price is like 9.0 until 7.0 is very popular bracket for good reason. Moving on to the forwards, we have again 27 out of 27 for Haaland. That price bracket also includes Kane, but there are 0 out of 27 have picked Kane. So only 2 managers out of the 27 have picked a double premium, or like a two-mium, I guess, in attack. So most people are going with just Haaland and then probably Trent on the side, and then Jesus is the 2nd most expensive player in the squad, or depending on Rashford and Saka, obviously. But yeah, Jesus for 8.0, 12 out of 27, pretty good numbers. And Nkunku, 7 out of 27. It feels like his stock is sort of dwindling down a bit since this thread, though, seeing him less and less in teams. Cody Gakpo could easily be going up in terms of being picked in squads. If he is the starting striker for Liverpool, then that's a bargain price for like 5 million less than Salah, which is pretty crazy. But at the same time, Salah is just a guarantee for points and guarantee for playing time as well, which Gakpo cannot really say that he has a guarantee for that type of point totals. That was bad English, but whatever. Also interesting is, as you can see, there are 20 4.5 fodder picks, and I think only one squad had a 4-5-1 formation where they had 2 4.5 attackers. So pretty much in every squad there's a 4.5 attacker. It's just no consensus amongst who the 4.5 attacker should be, or 4.5 forward should be. Cameron Archer, he is FPL. He's known in FPL circles already. He was good for England in the under-21 Euros, so it makes sense that he's sort of the highest picked out of the 4.5 forwards. But you also have Surridge, you have McAtee, you have Semenyo, and then all the rest on the right. You have Balogun. One guy had Balogun even, another Arsenal player for now, but he might get loaned out. Divine Obama is one. Osula, I don't even know his first name. Ellis Sims, who's already been sold. He's price locked, so I know some people have probably jumped on him before he's removed from the game because he's not going to drop down in price, which is kind of the worry with Archer because he's like the most picked. So a lot of people will sell him and then he'll drop down in price from 4.5, and you'll basically just get a price drop from a spot where you didn't even get any points. So it doesn't really make sense to pick the most popular 4.5 attacker, and that's probably why there are no popular 4.5 attackers, because they're going to drop in price pretty much. Ferguson, Gakpo, there's a couple of small differentials, but mostly it is Haaland and then one of Jesus or Nkunku and then a 4.5 forward. That is pretty much what you get. So with all of those numbers in mind, with all those different sections, goalkeeper, defender, midfielders, forwards, we can actually create like a FPL content creator template team. And that's what I've done. And it is the following team right here, as you'll see. So again, in goal, Pickford and Areola, that was the most common combination. Pickford for 4.5 and Areola as a backup in case he is the starting goalkeeper for West Ham. I think if it's confirmed that Areola is the starting goalkeeper, a lot of people will jump to just Areola, having Areola and then another 4.0 goalkeeper. Some people will do that at least, but at the same time, Areola also has really good rotation with, for example, Flecken, who I expect to get more picked as time goes along. So Areola and Flecken might be like the template pick eventually, but I think Onana still is going to come in at 5.0 and going to be like the main guy picked. So in defense, no place for Shaw, which is kind of surprising, but we have Trent, obviously, 24 out of 27. Estepinian, of course, he is super popular. He's the most popular defender in the game. Gabriel, which is also sort of like a facsimile or whatever word you want to use there for like an Arsenal defender, because Zinchenko's in a lot of squads, Ben White was in a squad, and Saliba was in a squad as well. So Arsenal defenders are really popular. There's just a lot of people to choose from there. Meanwhile, with, for example, Brighton, there's only Estepinian and no one has picked Dunk, no one has picked Webster or any of the other defenders from Brighton. Same with Liverpool, to be fair. No Virgil van Dijk, I think. Let's go back and check, actually. Defenders, as far as I can see, not a single Liverpool defender. Not Robertson, not Virgil van Dijk, not even Konate, which is kind of surprising to me. Like, he's 5.0 and fantastic. Like, he's going to be nailed for Liverpool, and he has major goal threat. You remember against Arsenal last season, he was so close to scoring. He had a lot of like big chances where he almost scored but didn't. He had an assist as well where he easily could have scored. So I think Konate is definitely someone that should have been picked in at least one of the squads here. Same with the goalkeeper. If I want to pick a player that is not picked in any of the squads that I'm surprised is not there. In terms of the goalkeepers, I think it's Bartford Bruggen from Brighton. I think 4.5 for a Brighton goalkeeper is a really good price. We remember Jason Steele last season. Towards the end of the season, he was like one of the best goalkeepers in the game. So for 4.5, I'm surprised not a single person has picked Bartford Bruggen. In defense, like I mentioned, Konate is a surprise omission. Destiny Udogie, I think, could be a good defender. Pedro Porro has been gaining some steam among FPL content creators. Remains to be seen if it's him or Udogie or both that's going to play most of the matches for Spurs as a fullback. But those guys are missing. There's no Ahmed Hodzic. I'm quite surprised it's not there. You have Matty Cash. Not that many other that I can think of that are surprising omissions here. In terms of midfielders, any surprising omissions? Not that I can see. Like, it seems like most like potentially good picks are picked already. There's a couple Sons, there are a couple of Sterlings. Foden, obviously, he was in the squad that we just checked out briefly. As far as I can see, there's not that many interesting midfielders that are lacking from this page, but I'm sure I'm missing someone. Amongst the forwards, there's one name that I'm surprised is not there, and that is, especially if you look at these numbers with Mbeumo, and 14 out of 27 people have Mbeumo, but not a single soul has Johan Wissa, which is surprising to me because he is only 6.0. I think he's a better pick than Ferguson in terms of playing time at the start of the season. I feel like he's better. If you have Joao Pedro for 5.5, I think you should upgrade him. Morris for 5.5, I think you should upgrade him to Wissa. I think you can downgrade people like Ollie Watkins, for example. Darwin Núñez, not a sure starter. Mitrovic, I actually don't mind that much. Like, I feel like he could be a surprisingly good forward. I mean, he's too expensive for what he's worth, I guess, but especially coming off of last season, but I still think he can surprise a lot of people. He always does well when no one has him, so maybe he's the differential guy to go for. But anyways, moving on with the whole team. I don't remember why I started going back and looking. Oh yeah, I was looking for Liverpool defenders. Trent is basically the only Liverpool defender. Estepinian is basically the only Brighton defender, but Gabriel is one of many potential Arsenal defenders, so that's why he's slightly lower picked, but Arsenal defenders are really popular still. Botman also, 14 out of 27. Let's go back again because I want to check if Fabian Schär, he's picked by one person out of the 27. So yeah, Botman is by far the most popular Newcastle defensive pick. No one has picked Pope. No one has picked anyone else. No one has picked Dan Burn really either. So yeah, Botman is the preferred pick there. No one has picked Trippier as well. I keep going back and forth. Sorry about that. But as you can see, no other Newcastle defenders either. No Trippier apart from Schär. He's one out of 27 now. Fabian Schär. No Dan Burn and no Trippier, pretty much. But yeah, going on to the final centre back, and we have Amari Bell. Like I said, I suspect this to be Bayer or Baldock by the end of the season, or by the end of the season, by the start of the season. Actually, by game week 1, it's going to be a different 4.0 defender, I think, in the template team. But for now, Bell is more than good enough. He might be one of those guys who all of a sudden, even though he scored only 1 goal and had 1 assist last season, he might all of a sudden just be a fantastic pick going offensively. I've had that happen a couple times before in FPL, where I've written someone off and they're still a popular pick, and then they live up to the hype regardless. So maybe I'm wrong about Bell. Maybe he is the best 4.0 defender. Who knows? Saka, he's picked by 49.7% of people in general, 21 out of 27 FPL content creators. Fernandes and Rashford, is also a really consensus pick. Then I've added Foden in there. He is sort of like the fifth guy. FPL experts seem to like him a lot, even like a lot more than the general player base, because he's only owned by 11%, which is not that much, but it's because he is sort of a minutes risk. So I understand why people are hesitant to go with Foden. But Mitoma and Mbeumo are both really popular, both amongst the general player base and amongst the FPL content creators. 17 out of 27 for Mitoma and 14 out of 27 for Mbeumo. And they're also pretty highly picked amongst, they are in about one out of 3 teams pretty much have Mitoma or Mbeumo, or potentially even both. Haaland, by far the most picked player, both in terms of all the managers and in terms of the FPL content creators, 27 out of 27, 85.3% among the general player base. I suspect the number, because the number keeps creeping up as well. I think it's just the remaining 15% is probably just people auto picking, and then there's like 1 or 2 guys who have Kane and Salah instead. Some Man United fans probably that don't want to have City players who don't have Haaland, but I think that number is going to just keep going up until the start of the season, really, because I think as more and more people are making their teams instead of having their auto pick team, people are going to pick Haaland. He was the most popular Game of 1 player last season, and he's still popular, about 31% in total, 12 out of 27, which is quite low. Like, I sort of expected him to be slightly more, actually, but you understand it as well because he's quite expensive and people want to invest in the midfield as well. And then Cameron Archer, he's sort of like the de facto 4.5 pick, but like I said, you should probably avoid the most popular 4.5 pick. Try to find some obscure 4.5 guy who's not going to go down in price, or if you can get Ellis Sims, I don't know if you can still do that, but he's price locked at 4.5 because you can't really, he's going to be removed from the game, really. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the template team. From the FPL content creators, this is pretty much the same team that I have for the template team in the FPL scope guide. One difference is Foden, because he is more heavily picked by FPL content creators than the rest of us. So yeah, he's a difference in these teams. I'm not 100% sure what the template squad is going to end up with, but I feel like Onana is going to make his way in there as a goalkeeper. Potentially Onana, Areola, that might be the preferred goalkeeper option. Defense, I think Trent, Estupiñán and Gabriel, or an Arsenal defender, are going to be pretty much locked in the template team. Botman as well, seems like he's pretty popular. 4.0, I think Bell might change. Saka's going to stay there. Either Rashford or Fernandes are going to stay there. Foden, that is the place that is, or the spot that is up for grabs. Maybe if like some cheap, maybe Balogun goes to another team for 4.5 and you can spend more money, you can downgrade Jesus potentially, I don't know. I think this template team is going to be pretty similar to what the template team is before the season, but it will be fun to watch, and I'm going to update the template team in the guide pretty much whenever there's something happening. Whenever there's a reason to change the team, I'm going to try to change it. So I'm going to pay attention to what FPL content creators are doing. I'm going to pay attention to what like the Reddit users are doing, what people are doing on Twitter, and try to make like the most accurate template team, because yeah, amongst like the general player base, I should mention that as well, you have other popular players. Like Salah is a lot more popular among the player base. I think he's like 30% owned. Same goes for Trippier. These guys that scored a lot of points last season. So players that don't really pay attention to FPL content creators will just look at the points from last season and just think that, oh, I'm going to add that guy, even though they might not be the same good value as they were last season. But I think Salah is one of them. I think Salah is undervalued by FPL content creators, and I think he's a strong contender for my own starting 11 in my first game week. So yeah, I hope that's been informative. I've been Matthias as always, and yeah, looking forward to see you more in more videos. I've made a bunch of videos the last few days because I'm going on vacation. This is the first video I'm going to publish before I go on vacation, and then there's going to be a lot of other videos coming up. Some pretty interesting content, and I have some videos planned as well when I'm back from vacation in about a week and a half or so. So yeah, stay tuned for that. There's going to be a constant stream of videos for the next few weeks, even though I'm on vacation, and when I'm back, there's going to be even more. So please subscribe if you want to see more content, see me rambling. This is pretty much what you get in this channel, just me talking quickly, just going boom, 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 switching between different talking points, switching between different slides all of a sudden. It's a bit jumbled up. It's not like super like processed and super, I don't know. You kind of get this type of style from this channel. If you're into that sort of stuff, then subscribe. But anyways, that's it for me. See ya, and goodbye.